let's get to cooking. This is what we're doing today at Memaw's house. Hey y'all, welcome back to Memaw's house. You know, at my church we have a prison ministry, and that prison ministry asks us sometimes to make cookies because they go over, they minister to the folks in prison, and then they serve them cookies and coffee and tea. And this year I wanted to participate in that, so I have made a bunch of batches of cookies. I'm going to share 3 of those cookies with you. So come on, I got my apron on, let's get to cooking. Cookie number 1, Rock Island cookies. Here are the ingredients that we'll be using for our Rock Island cookies. A half a cup of butter, softened, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of milk, I'm using evaporated milk, 1 egg, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1½ cups of flour, and 1 teaspoon of nutmeg. And as you can see, I'm going to be using my hand mixer to mix this all together. This is one of those recipes the only recipe actually that my mother used to let us make, me and my sisters bake in her kitchen. Mama was real persnickety about her kitchen, so she didn't want us in there fiddling around trying to do some stuff. But this cookie is a cookie that she allowed us to make, and we mastered it. So I'm going to go ahead and cream my butter and my sugar together on a medium speed so that we can get that all mixed up. I don't know if I told you all or not, but I have 5 sisters. Yes, 5 sisters. There were 6 of us girls with no boys. And I think all of us are pretty good cooks because our mother was a fabulous cook. She didn't let us in her kitchen very often, but me, Stella, and Gail would get in and make these Rock Island cookies. It's the first recipe that I remember using out of a cookbook. And so I think one of my sisters has that cookbook now. And I love to make sure that I make Rock Island cookies at least once a year, just for old time's sake. Now I've added my egg and my vanilla, and I'm going to mix that in well, and then I'll add the dry ingredients. This is a super simple cookie. It's a sugar cookie, and it is not your gotta sit it in the refrigerator kind of sugar cookie, but it is a sugar cookie nonetheless, with a little pinch of nutmeg, and I think that's what makes it special for me. Now that I've added all of the dry ingredients, I'm going to go ahead and mix this well. This makes a nice dough for our cookies. Once that is completed, I don't have to refrigerate it like other sugar cookies. You know, sugar cookies you normally have to refrigerate so that you can slice them and do all the niceties with it. This is a nice soft sugar cookie dough that you just scoop and cook. So, as young girls, we never did put it in the refrigerator because you know we were always in a rush to eat that cookie. We were making it because we wanted something sweet to eat. So, once my batter is done, I'm going to go ahead and use my 1-inch cookie scoop, scoop it onto my parchment lined cookie sheet 2 inches apart or so, because this cookie does do a little bit of spreading, not a whole lot, but enough. And bake it in a 400-degree oven for 8 to 10 minutes. And as you can probably tell, this is day 1 of my cookie baking venture. It takes me about 3 days to get this many cookies done, baked up, mixed up, baked, and put away, because I'm a working mama and we still have work to do, and I still have babies to take care of. They're not babies anymore, but I still have to take care of them. And of course, there's always Peepaw. So I'm going to get these cookies scooped up, and I'll bake some so the kids can taste it. Then the rest I will scoop out just like I'm doing here, flash freeze them, put them in the freezer until time to bake for the ministry. Now these baked for 9 minutes, and they're nice and brown around the edges. They're still a light colored cookie, but it smells fabulous in the house. You can smell the nutmeg and it just smells great. So I'm going to go ahead and get these off of the cookie sheet and allow the kids, because they're standing around waiting, allow them to taste a cookie. So let's go ahead and get these on a plate. Y'all, we got my taste testers, got 3 taste testers. Grab a cookie. 1, 2, 3, taste.
Oh, wow.
Delicious.
They don't taste good. They don't taste so bad.
Fabulous. You heard it here first. Cookie number 2, double chocolate caramel nut cookie. Here are the ingredients that we'll be using for our double chocolate caramel nut cookies. 1/2 cup of softened butter, 1/2 cup each of white sugar and brown sugar, 1 egg, a teaspoon of vanilla, a cup of flour, 2/3 cup of cocoa powder, 1 teaspoon of soda, 1 tablespoon of milk, 1/8 teaspoon of salt, 1 1/4 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips, caramel bites, about 1/2 cup, and then 1/2 cup of chopped almonds. And of course, you know we're going to cream our butter and our 2 types of sugar. And I think the caramel flavor that this cookie gets is from that brown sugar. And I'm so glad I added it. It is so delicious. So let's go ahead and cream our butter and sugars, and then we'll add the rest of our wet ingredients. In go our milk, and then we'll crack our egg, of course, in a separate container. Still don't want any shells. And we'll get our egg in, and we'll get it mixed together. That combination really does smooth out the batter and gets it ready and nice and moist for the chocolate and the flour. We're going to go ahead and add our vanilla before we get anything else in here as far as dry ingredients are concerned, and get that mixed in well. Now, because I have the chocolate element, that chocolate powder, the cocoa powder, included in the ingredients of this cookie, I will have to sift these dry ingredients, so that I can make sure that there are no lumps in that chocolate. I'm going to put all of my dry ingredients together in my sieve and go ahead and sift it over into the wet ingredients. Now, before I sift all of my dry ingredients, I'm going to add my morsels, my chocolate and caramel morsels, and get them coated with the dry ingredients so that they won't sink all into the bottom of the cookie batter. Then we'll go ahead and add our roasted almonds. Now, I did roast these so that they could have a good crunch when it's in the cookie. Otherwise, they will just kind of have a different kind of texture because it's not toasted. So make sure you toast your nuts. Now, this batter gets a little stiff. So once you get to that point where you know all of those ingredients have been mixed, then you can stop your mixer and begin to hand mix it all the way to the end. And I'm glad I'm hand mixing this because you can see that my butter had not been fully incorporated from the bottom of the bowl. See that? So we need to mix this all the way together because we want our ingredients to come together for a beautiful cookie. So don't fail to hand mix so that you can get all of your ingredients incorporated. Okay, so our cookie is ready to be scooped. I'm going to use my 1-inch cookie scoop and scoop it onto a parchment-lined cookie sheet. I will bake this cookie at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 2 to 3 inches apart, because they have a little spread as well, and they will bake for 11 to 12 minutes. Now this cookie actually baked for 10 minutes, and this is the end result, and it smells like a big brownie in this house. Now it has gotten late on cookie baking day 1, so my taste tester original is here. Okay, got my oldest taste tester here.
Can't wait to try these.
Yep.
They're so soft.
Is
So chewy. It's the perfect chocolate cookie.
Thank you. Cookie number 3 and our family favorite, Peepos Cookies. Here are the ingredients we'll be using for Peepos Cookies. 1/2 cup plus 6 tablespoons of softened butter, 3/4 cup of brown sugar, 1/2 cup white sugar, 2 eggs, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1½ cups of flour, 1 teaspoon baking soda, 1 teaspoon cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 3 cups of oats, 1/2 cup of raisins, 1/2 cup of chocolate chips, 1/2 cup of butterscotch chips, 1/2 cup of pecans, and as many M&Ms as you can stand. Okay, y'all, so 2 of my batches of cookies are done out of the 3. Now it's time to make Peepos cookies. I think I've made a variation of these cookies before on my channel around Christmas time, and I'll link that above so that you can go take a look at that. But I'm going to make his famous oatmeal cookies. Now they're not his famous oatmeal cookies because I made up the recipe, But the recipe is just like any other oatmeal cookie. But I like to use brown sugar and white sugar in it so that it can be nice and caramelly. And I use butterscotch and chocolate chips in it. He likes all the stuff in his cookies. So I'm going to go ahead and bake these cookies. As with all the other cookies, we're going to mix our butter and our sugar and get that creamed well together. Now this cookie is very special to me because I used to make Peepaw an oatmeal cookie. Oatmeal cookie is his most favorite cookie in the entire world, other than a ginger snap every now and then. But he likes a good home-baked oatmeal cookie. So I made him my first batch of oatmeal cookies because I told you I made the Rock Island cookies when I was a young girl. But once we got married, he wanted an oatmeal cookie, so I made him an oatmeal cookie, simply using the recipe in the top of the oatmeal box, and he liked it. So then I thought, well, maybe I can do a little something different with it. So I started to add things. And as I added stuff, he liked to have more stuff. So we did come around to this particular cookie with the M&Ms, and it's almost a monster cookie, but it's an oatmeal cookie fit just for Peepaw. And while this is mixing, would you mind hitting that subscribe button if you haven't already done so? And if you like this content, hit the thumbs up. That certainly will help my channel. Thank y'all. Now, while the butter and sugar are creaming, let's go ahead and crack that egg in what? A different container. Yes, so we don't get what in our batter? Shell. Thank you very much. See, we all learning and we're agreeing here. So let's get our eggs cracked and we'll add that to the batter. Now that the eggs are all mixed in, let's go ahead and add our vanilla. And once that vanilla is done, we'll start to add our dry ingredients. Now here are all the dry ingredients that we'll have to mix together. If you will notice those M&M minis, I asked Peepaw to go get the M&M minis from the store. So I thought he would know, go and get the regular M&M minis. Nope, he got peanut butter. So let's see how these taste in this cookie. I would imagine that it's going to be delicious. Now, like with the chocolate cookies, because this batter is so thick and heavy with stuff, we need to go ahead and mix that by hand, the last little bit, so we can make sure that it has everything incorporated well. Okay, it's time to scoop. We're going to go ahead and scoop our cookies out, and we're going to put them about 2 inches apart, and I'm going to mash them a little bit so that to give them a head start on the spread. And we'll add some M&Ms to the top just to make them pretty. Now these will bake in a 350-degree Fahrenheit oven for 8 to 10 minutes. Now these actually took the 10 minutes that it's required to bake, and they are beautiful. I'm going to take these off the cookie sheet and put it on a rack so that they can cool. Okay, y'all, so my cookies are done. I'm putting some on the plate because, you know, my family has to have some. And then we'll bake off the rest of those cookies and take them into the church so that the people can get them. But in the meanwhile, we're going to taste test some of these cookies. All right? Where's my taste tester?
Right here.
All right, come on in, Peyton. All right, pick a cookie.
Okay. How much is this one?
Can you see her?
Oh, good.
You like it? Nice and chewy. Okay, y'all. I'm gonna move my taste tester on out of the way. Y'all be blessed, and I hope you enjoy your cookies. Y'all bake some cookies for your family. Bye. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope you give these cookie recipes a try. Here are other videos that may interest you, and a playlist as well. Y'all be blessed. Bye.